Shawn Devine, I'm the Deputy Chief of the North Bay Police Service. It's a partnership between the North Bay and District Drug Strategy Committee and the North Bay Police Service, including pharmacists and doctors within the city and surrounding areas of North Bay. My personal involvement is, as the Deputy Chief for the North Bay Police Service, I'm in charge of all operational decisions that are made for the police service. So going back to the start of the initiation of this program, I was approached by one of our drug officers, Tom Robertson, and he expressed that he had an interest in putting a project together that was hopefully going to save some lives, as he had become aware of a drug called fentanyl in our community that was actually killing people. Well, I think the most obvious one for us is from the policing part of it is that since the inception of the Patch for Patch program, we have had no confirmed deaths related to fentanyl. I mean, there's a number of other relationships that have been established, as some other goals that have been achieved, but I think the most obvious is that we haven't had people dying from abusing fentanyl. It already has. It has taken on a life of its own because of the success. But I mean, provincially, I'd like to see it expand provincially. It's like any kind of action that takes place. If the action is only in one small place, then if it's happening next door, we're going to be influenced by it. So the biggest thing is I would like to see the project expand provincially, where it doesn't matter whether it's Toronto, Peterborough, Cornwall, everybody is under the same set of rules. And obviously would like to, if the success is there, to see it expand throughout the country. As everyone, I believe, knows, that Vic Fideli, our local provincial politician, is working on a private members bill, and hopefully in the third reading of that legislation, it will go to provincial mandate. Why is it particular fentanyl? And unfortunately, right now it's fentanyl. The unfortunate thing about addictions and issues regarding illegal drugs is it's a supply and demand. Fentanyl, was never intended to be used for getting high, but unfortunately somebody experimented with it, and then it took on a life of its own. The availability of it, because it was available to people that were in positions of either being ill or elderly. Maybe people took advantage of them. So what is the real reason that fentanyl? I think that it was easily accessible. And that was one of the focuses of the Patch for Patch, was to put some controls on that and say, there's going to be some different circumstances as opposed to just going in and getting new patches. So why fentanyl? I really don't have an answer to that, and unfortunately I believe that there will probably be something else down the road to replace it. But the issue with fentanyl is it's a very, very powerful drug, and when it's abused, then the end result is that people die. Yeah, to be honest with you, I have not been in the investigative portion of policing for some time, but I think unfortunately there will be something that replaces. But I think this fentanyl Patch for Patch program really sets the bar at a level where it's saying that we need a combination of everyone involved. We in North Bay, I could assign as involved, or as the person that's involved in operations, I could assign 10 more police officers to go out and do drug enforcement on a daily basis. Is that going to solve the problem of addictions and the problems that we face as far as fentanyl? No. So we need a full commitment by all community members, whether that is in education, whether it's by the pharmacists, but whether it's by the doctors, whether it's in the health unit. We need everybody to participate, to look at what's the root cause of these problems, whether it's addictions, and how do we approach it as a group, as a collaborative, to get our best results. So if today it's fentanyl, if it's going to be another drug down the road, we can take what we've learned from the fentanyl project and apply it to our next challenge, because there's always going to be challenges. You know, the one thing that I really, if you understand policing at all, and policing, because we're a paramilitary organization, a lot of ideas are often driven down. So there's an issue and then it's driven down. This is the complete opposite of it. So we had 3 officers, Greg McClanahan, Tom Robertson, and Brad Rayom. And they were approached by people on the street saying, you guys need to do something about this drug because our friends are dying. And this wasn't about going out and putting people in jail. It wasn't about going out and arresting people. This was about saving lives. And really, you have to look at those 3 gentlemen and say, gee, you know, they went above and beyond their roles as police officers, because what they were talking about was saving people's lives. And it was driven from the bottom through their work with Pat Clish, through the drug strategy. You know, we had the participation of pharmacists, we had the participation of the doctors in town. They're all very busy people, but yet they were all able to come to the table and work on a project that has been successful, and has been successful not only locally but across the province, and hopefully soon across the country. So, you know, why did it happen? Because I think good people were involved and it was a great idea, and the results have shown that.